Welcome all to Creepmas.
You did Krampus, right?
I did Krampus. Didn't do a very original interpretation of Krampus, but I hadn't just drawn a Krampus, so
Krampus is always fun.
yeah.
So,
I really like the movie.
Yeah, I really like the movie. I didn't know how close to that design you were gonna go.
I didn't put him in the faux Santa suit. I did original wandering through the German woods, putting children in wicker baskets. Well, Krampus, I think it's actually Austrian, not German, but I'd have to double check. It's from that area of the world.
Yeah.
The Central European things. And he is the evil version of Santa. So Santa comes and gives gifts to good boys and girls. And Krampus comes and takes away bad girls and boys.
I don't know if he's evil so much as he just does the dirty work.
Well, yeah, he's the Punisher.
Yeah. Rather than
I guess you've got a little bit of the devil issue where the devil's not evil, he's just doing the other side of the work.
Right. It's the hell to heaven.
Yeah.
Rather than general Santa over here where it's...
I guess the bad side. Not evil, but Santa Claus is in charge of gifting to the good. Krampus is in charge of griefing the bad.
Yeah. Because otherwise, regular Santa just has his naughty list and his nice list, and if you're naughty, you get cold, which in some areas, in some weather, that's a nice thing. But, okay.
Well, that's the thing. It used to be a thing that you had by the fireplace, and it wasn't bad anyway, because then you could use the coal to, warm the house more if you were cold. So it wasn't just here's a dirty rock. It was a fuel source at the time. So
if you're a really selfish, horrible child, I could see you being like, oh no, it's cold. But otherwise... Yay, my family doesn't freeze.
It wasn't nothing. A warm pair of socks ain't nothing, but it's not a Game Boy.
It's not a race car.
Yeah. Those, in the Germanic, your choices are Game Boy or be dragged into the woods by a murderous devil.
Yeah.
We're not even going to get into Black Peter nonsense, because that's a whole other... Oof.
But there's a giant cat.
Who is the giant cat?
The giant cat, I think, has itself. I think there's just a giant cat about Christmas.
I don't know the giant cat.
And the Yule Lads. There are lots of Christmas things. And horrible. There was that shit log.
The poop log.
Yeah. I have vague ideas of all of the Christmas things. And when I've asked people, the answer is, it's tradition. Which, okay.
But from where and why?
Why do you do this? Why do you do a little Yule log?
I'm sure gesture your table and be like, what's this? Food. I know that, but why this food here now?
Right, but...
So Krampus was just someone's just well, the bad kids need to get punished.
Yeah.
Because that was the morality of the society, so they're just cool, that's...
But they never come back, right? They get taken and just, what happens to them?
So, in the era where these things would have started, there were a lot of children just disappearing in the woods, because they had wolves... And
I might be making this up. Is there some canon where the Krampus children become elves to make the toys?
I don't know.
I might be making that up.
I don't know. That might be a addendum thing. But yeah, there was and I think it was both a way to scare good children into not going too far into the woods, and also a way to write off the kids that disappeared as bad children.
That's terrible.
So.
That's terrible.
But this is the era you were in. You birthed 5 children, maybe 2 grow up, if you're lucky.
Yeah, that's fair. So. But, yeah.
Krampus is, it's a fun on the surface, haha, he steals the children. And if you think about it, you're oh no.
Yeah, well, that's why I like the movie so much.
The movie's very good.
Specifically the more recent, I don't even know what year that was.
2015, 2016, somewhere in there.
Probably.
Somewhere in there. There was the bigger budget Krampus movies, because the other ones are obviously garbage.
They could be fun, though.
I mean, they're not, Santa's sleigh is obviously garbage. You can look at the box art and be this is something we Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
So,
is there any movies, I don't know, where we're, following Krampus? We're on Krampus' side, rather than the children he's going after or whatever?
Not that I can think of.
That could be fun.
Krampus is a slasher, where, every other character is really unlikable, except maybe the survivor girl.
Yeah, okay, now I'm picturing it animated as, the Grinch Who Stole Christmas, but Krampus. That's what my brain
The
did.
Grinch who stole Krampus.
The Krampus is still Christmas.
That could make a... Okay, so, writing this movie, a bunch of college friends who do not like their family go to a ski lodge for anti-Christmas. And Krampus descends upon them because they're mostly assholes.
Festivus.
So they're off, they're snowed in, and there's a creature that's just picking them off one by one in terribly ironic ways, considering their personality flaws.
I like that. It could be very Final Destination-y.
I was just going to do straight up slasher. Like, he comes down the chimney one time. Like, whatever they're trying, Krampus just, like, evades their defenses and snatches them one at a time.
Oh, what was that?
And then the last girl corners her and gives her a bow. And then just leaves.
Was it Tucker and Dale?
Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Yeah, was that the one where the kids assume that those are the slashers?
Yeah. They're
just killing
just
themselves?
socially awkward, and they like jump headfirst into the wood chipper.
Yeah, the kids just do that. It could be similar to that, only Krampus is more aware of the situation and orchestrating it. So, like, actual things set up.
So Krampus was setting traps in yours. Like, like there's a bear trap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the horrible people could be aware of Krampus enough to be like, oh, we're gonna catch it.
They try to set up traps.
Yeah.
And,
That just wind up caught by it.
Yeah, because, well, they set up all the traps and they gather around the fire, but then the fire goes out and Krampus comes down the chimney. And it's just like, ah! And then they try and run out through the traps, and
Just, woo!
that's one of the, like, third act things. I don't know, what do we call it, Krampus Mountain?
Something like that.
Yeah, but yeah. Give us $1 million to make Krampus Mountain. And I darken up some stuff on the Krampus to really push it back. That arm is wonky. I don't know if that arm makes sense, but...
Given where his left shoulder is, that arm is a little long in bicep.
Yeah.
But it's a Krampus. We don't know what they look like.
Well, his other arm just like bends weird too, because it's just dragging the thing behind him. So yay, I did it. It's a Krampus.
It's a Krampus.
Merry Krampus. Careful in the Black Forest.
Just don't be a dick, right?
But yeah, don't be a dick. The Krampus will get you.
And I drew Mary Lude.
Mary Lude?
Lude?
Mary Lude?
We looked up how to say it.
It's a very almost D-like R. Mary Lude?
Maybe.
Mari?
I just know when I looked at the pronunciation, it was also written in a way that I couldn't read it.
Okay, so for those who don't know, what's her deal?
Okay, so she comes to your house, and she starts, like, singing or rapping at you, and you have to sing or rap back to convince her not to come inside of your house. And if you lose this rap battle, she comes in and she raids your pantry and takes all your beer. And, you know, if you win, she goes away. But, like, grand scheme, not as scary as Krampus.
She's a more intrusive caroler.
Yeah, she mostly just wants to party. Which I feel
I'm here for your wine!
Yeah, I feel like that's fine. I used the straight line tool as a guide, but I didn't like the look of the straight lines, and then realized that I did it because I can't draw straight lines, so yeah, I did what I did. Just scribbled over everything.
Yep.
And you may have seen that my thumbnails weren't. I did one tiny little sketch and went, oh, I know what I want to do. And just said screw it. And
You've been doing a lot more thumbnailing recently. I think it's really improving the composition of your pieces overall.
Yeah, but for this one I really didn't. I like the first thing I did was, this is fine.
Now, what tradition is this? Is this like pagan? Is this like something that just like a European country does that's just like carried on from a different thing? Like,
I don't know.
Because Krampus is associated with Christmas.
Right.
So, but it's obviously adopted from other older, darker traditions.
Well, that seems to be the case here too. And I've seen other creatures.
So she is Christmas.
Yeah. Around Christmas time. And I've seen others, other skull creatures that seem to be similar. But, yeah, she's specifically a horse head. And I went with it. Drawing horse skulls is difficult.
I knew it was you, Fredo!
And I added fangs to the horse skull.
Horsehead just makes me think of mafia movies. So.
Okay.
That's what horse heads make me think of.
Fair enough.
A relational brain, so.
But yeah. So she's...
I like how you did the Spirit of Halloween thing, and the skull has ears.
Because they usually have some kind of ear going on. I don't know why they do, but they do. And sometimes they have people hands, and sometimes they have people skeletal hands.
Was it this year or last year that we passed by an octopus, and I'm just like, they're invertebrates?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the logic is that they're their own, like, species or whatever. Not octopi, but, like, the skeleton things.
They literally have no skeleton.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The
Oh man, that line work on those flowers is magnificent. Look at that.
Thank you. What was I drawing there?
Oh
I think
my
they're
God.
parrot tulips. I think that's what they're called.
It looks so good.
Thank you.
The skull looks really good too.
Thank you.
It's a very good study of a skull with flowers, even absent everything else that you're doing.
Well, thank you.
Looks like she got some wine. I'll start to hip hop.
Well, she has an empty glass.
Ah.
She's asking you for wine. And I don't know, I think I'd just invite her in.
Yeah, you want some wine? Sure.
Yeah. I've seen also, sometimes she's depicted as just like, they'll have two people in the costume and it's just a horse.
Yeah. Listen, do you want a Trix Rabbit? Because this is how you get a Trix Rabbit. People want things and they're fans of them. Just like, figure out an exchange.
Yeah. I want her to look happy. I looked at a bunch of different references to skulls, and I was like, which one looks like it's smiling?
I'm living my best life.
Yeah. And I...
Singing songs, drinking wines, wines.
The things on the table itself, I was not happy with. But I decided to just thin things up and decide that was good enough. Like, it wasn't... Could've done it better. But I did want everything to be sort of browns and grays and beiges, and then I think I do a splash of blue.
You do very good with like the room setting to make it look lived in. Like you've got that whole coat
Thank
rack
you.
there, so.
And I tried to keep in mind how big is the hat versus how big is the coat versus how big is the doorknob. And then have...
And then she's just huge.
Yeah, Mary be a horse.
Of course.
And I made her kind of in slightly Christmassy colors. So I didn't want to just red and green. So there's going to be a little bit of green, but there's a lot of red and gold. Well, yellow. I aimed for gold. But you'll see what I mean. And I even looked up horse tongues, because I don't know what a horse's tongue looks like.
The answer is like people tongue.
Right. And so her tongue winds up interesting. But yeah, this is my version of gold.
Oh, nice. No, that looks really good.
Like gold ribbon was my logic. And the bells. And here's the tongue.
There you go. Ah. Wonderful shade.
Thank you. I love the tool that I use to blend things, the blending brush that I use. It's a watercolor blending brush, and I love the effect of it so much. And I want to use it for everything forever.
Noted.
That's what I've been using throughout this whole thing. Just watercolor blender. It just makes such a nice, soft, nice...
She looks great.
It's, I love her.
You wouldn't think she's a 100-year-old tradition.
Yeah, she's lovely. I don't know how old the tradition is. Is it only 100 years?
Well, it has to be at least 100 years.
Yeah.
I mean, America's 250 years, so...
Yeah.
Like, this is an older tradition, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I should look that up.
Like, no one decorates the tree with pig guts anymore.
No.
But that's tradition.
Well, now we have the, tinsel and garland and all that.
Attracts less flies.
I would hope so. This door gave me trouble.
Did you try WD-40? Just loosen the hinges.
I made everything beige as a base. Try to keep everything cohesive, and then did something over it. And...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it made it so...
And it keeps it all together.
Yeah, everything's a little bit drabber, even though blue is, like, more
She is a
subdued.
splash of color.
Yeah, that was my hope. So the focus is her, even though there's lots of stuff going on in the room.
Splash of color.
Yeah. The beige, just to keep everything sort of cohesive. And here are the shadows.
Nice. You've been doing very good work with shadows, too.
Thank you. I wanted her...
Oh, the little glass flares? I like that. I really like that.
I wanted her to be kind of the light source. Like herself, she is the brightness.
You do really good shadows.
Because that candle would not be doing all this.
No.
But she is.
How wonderful.
So
Let's go to our friend's house and sing at them in a horse's skull and make them feed us wine.
raid their pantries.
Yeah.
I think that would go over well.
Our friends would let us do it.
So
They would be very confused the first year.
Yeah. So happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Rock on.
Celebrate however is comfortable for you. It is a time of giving and family, unless your family sucks, in which case, find a new family. Fuck them.
Rock on.
Rock on.